Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how love changes with age? When we're younger, intimacy is often about passion, intensity, and sometimes even performance. But as we grow older, something shifts. It becomes less about the wild, restless urgency and more about connection, depth, and the little details that make every touch, every kiss, every moment sweeter. That's why today I want to talk about something we don't discuss enough: sex and love in the later stages of life. And more specifically, 5 positions that don't just work well as we get older, but actually make intimacy more romantic, more meaningful, and more deeply satisfying. Because let's be honest, love doesn't expire with age. If anything, it becomes richer, deeper, and far more beautiful. Now, before we dive into the specifics, let's set the tone. This isn't about gymnastics. It's not about flexibility or stamina. It's about closeness. It's about savoring the moment, making love sweeter, slower, more intentional. Because when you strip away the rush, you're left with something much more powerful: connection. And when two people can connect physically, emotionally, and spiritually, that is what keeps love alive for decades. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 positions that not only keep things comfortable, but also amplify romance, intimacy, and pleasure. Whether you've been with your partner for 5 years or 50, these little adjustments will make your love life feel more tender, more exciting, and yes, more passionate. And here's the truth: intimacy in older age isn't about doing less. It's about doing it better. It's about making every touch feel intentional, every kiss feel like it matters, every moment together feel like it could last forever. So let's jump in, because these 5 positions might just remind you that love isn't about age at all. It's about how you choose to love and how deeply you're willing to connect. Imagine this for a moment: the two of you lying together, bodies curved in perfect harmony, your back against his chest, his arms wrapped protectively around you. This is the beauty of the side-by-side cuddle, often called spooning love. And while it may seem simple, almost innocent, there's a profound sweetness to it that makes men melt. In fact, many men will tell you that this kind of touch, this kind of closeness means more to them than the most passionate moments. Why? Because spooning isn't about performance, it's about presence, it's about saying with your body, "I'm here, I feel safe with you, and I want to be close." For older couples, this position becomes even more meaningful. With time, you realize that intimacy isn't measured in speed or intensity, but in the tenderness of how you hold each other. In spooning, there's no pressure to move fast or prove anything. It's about melting into each other, breathing together, and feeling that unspoken bond that says, "Wa belong." Men crave this because it reassures them that you don't just love them, you want to feel them near you. His chest against your back, his hand resting gently over your stomach, maybe his lips brushing against your neck. These small details make his heart race even more than he might admit. And here's where the magic happens: when you add little touches, like tracing your fingers lightly over his hand or pressing back into his embrace. You're telling him he's wanted, he's needed. That's what men go crazy for: the validation that their presence is not only accepted, but deeply desired. The side-by-side cuddle isn't just comfortable, it creates a rhythm of intimacy that's perfect for long-lasting relationships. It slows everything down, allowing you to savor the moment without rushing. What's beautiful is that spooning doesn't end when the lights go out. It often begins and ends the day. Imagine waking up in his arms, feeling his warmth against you, and knowing that before either of you said a word, you already shared the most intimate connection. Or imagine drifting off to sleep in that position, knowing the last thing he felt before sleep claimed him was your body resting safely in his. That's not just physical touch, it's emotional security. So many women underestimate how much men cherish this. They think men only crave passion and intensity. But the truth is, many men crave the safety of holding and being held just as much. They crave the moments where no words are spoken, but everything is understood. When you give him this closeness, when you make spooning a ritual instead of just an afterthought, you create an atmosphere where love feels both tender and irresistible. That's why the side-by-side cuddle isn't just a position, it's an unspoken language of love that men never get tired of, no matter how old they become. Picture this. You're sitting across from him, maybe on the couch, maybe straddling his lap. In a quiet moment at the end of the day, your legs gently wrapped around his waist. Your face is only inches apart. This is the seated embrace. And while it might seem like just another position, It's actually one of the most powerful ways to connect with a man, especially as love matures with age. Unlike other forms of intimacy that might be driven by movement or physical energy, this one is about closeness, about being eye to eye, about letting your bodies whisper the things your words sometimes can't. For a man, having you in his arms like this is intoxicating. It's not just physical closeness, it's emotional exposure. He feels your heartbeat against his chest, your breath brushing across his lips, your hands resting softly on his shoulders, and it reminds him of the raw, vulnerable beauty of love. Men crave this kind of intimacy more than they admit because it strips away the distractions. In this moment, there's nowhere to hide, no roles to play, no performance to put on. It's just you and him sharing silence, laughter, whispers, or even just the quiet rhythm of breathing together. And for older couples, this becomes even more meaningful. The seated embrace doesn't require stamina or endless energy. It requires presence, which is far more powerful. It allows both of you to slow down, to savor touch without rushing, and to realize that intimacy is as much about connection as it is about desire. What makes this so irresistible for him is the feeling of being chosen. When you climb onto his lap and hold him close, you're saying without words, "I want you, I feel safe with you, I choose you." That affirmation melts him in ways that go far deeper than passion alone. And when you maintain eye contact, when you let your fingertips gently trace along the back of his neck or into his hair, you intensify the connection, turning a simple embrace into a moment that feels unforgettable. Many men will replay this in their minds long after it's over, not because of anything dramatic, but because of how safe, wanted, and alive it made them feel. Even more beautiful is the versatility of this embrace. It can be soft and nurturing, the kind of hug that heals and reassures after a long day, or it can be playful with teasing smiles and gentle kisses that make both of you feel young again, no matter your age. And at times it can carry a quiet sensuality that doesn't even need to lead anywhere. It's enough just to feel that warmth, that closeness, that magnetic pull of two people who love each other deeply. The seated embrace is more than just physical closeness. It's a reset button for the relationship. It pulls you both back into the present moment, reminding you that while the years may change your bodies, they don't diminish the sweetness of love when it's nurtured with touch. For him, it's not just about having you in his arms. It's about knowing that in that moment, you're his entire world. Imagine this, the two of you are lying together, soft light in the room, the world outside completely forgotten. You're close, skin to skin, heart to heart, and instead of rushing, everything slows down. That's the beauty of slow missionary, especially when you add a little comfort with pillows beneath your hips or back. At first glance, it might sound simple, even ordinary, but that's exactly why it's so powerful. It's not about trying to impress with complicated moves or endless energy. It's about savoring intimacy in a way that makes every moment feel more meaningful, more romantic, and more deeply connected. For men, this position holds a secret they rarely talk about. It's not just about the physical closeness, it's about the emotional access it gives them. In slow missionary, he can look into your eyes, kiss your lips, touch your face, and feel your every breath. When you add pillows for comfort, it doesn't just support you physically, it creates space for relaxation, for enjoying without strain, for staying close longer without anyone getting tired. That comfort removes distractions and allows the two of you to focus fully on the experience, on the tenderness, and on the passion building slowly between you. Men secretly love this because it lets them feel like protectors and lovers at the same time. When he leans over you, supported by his arms or resting gently against your body, he feels that mix of strength and vulnerability, powerful yet deeply connected. And for you, the angle created by the pillows isn't just about physical ease, it enhances intimacy. Every kiss, every whisper, every caress lingers longer. There's no rush, no need for performance. It's about drawing out the sweetness of the moment and letting the connection deepen with each slow movement. As love matures, this position becomes even more meaningful. It's not about acrobatics or intensity, it's about closeness that feels almost sacred. It's where passion meets tenderness, where lust meets love. And that combination drives men crazy in the best way possible. Because while many might think men only crave excitement, the truth is they crave emotional closeness too. Slow missionary, with its eye contact and gentle rhythm, gives him that closeness without distraction. It tells him, I want to feel you, not just touch you. That's the kind of intimacy that stays with him long after the lights are out. What makes this truly magical is that it reminds both of you that sex doesn't have to be about speed or novelty to be unforgettable. Sometimes the sweetest, most lasting memories come from the simplest moments. The way he brushes your hair back, the way you wrap your arms around him, the way both of you melt into each other with no rush to get anywhere. That's what slow missionary with comfort is about, creating a space where you can both relax, connect, and make love in a way that feels ageless, timeless, and deeply satisfying. Picture this: the two of you are together, the night feels still, and you decide to climb onto his lap, facing him, moving at a pace that feels natural and hurried and deeply personal. This is the lover's lap, the woman on top position done with a gentle rhythm. And it's one of those experiences that stays etched in his memory for reasons far beyond just physical pleasure. For him, it's intoxicating not only because of the view, though make no mistake, men love seeing every detail of the woman they desire, but because it shifts the dynamic. In this moment, you're the one guiding, you're the one setting the pace, and that makes him feel both desired and surrendered to at the same time. Unlike positions that rely on stamina or intensity, the lover's lap is about presence. It's about moving slowly, savoring every second, letting the intimacy unfold with no rush. For men, this is almost addictive because it gives them the rare chance to let go. They're not the ones driving the moment. Instead, they're watching, feeling, experiencing you taking control in the most sensual and loving way. When you move slowly, when you hold his face, kiss his neck, or whisper something sweet, you're creating a kind of intimacy that makes him feel like he's not just with you, he's consumed by you. The power of this position also lies in how connected it keeps you both. Eye contact is constant. You can see his reactions, feel his heartbeat, hear the change in his breathing. Men secretly crave that closeness more than they admit. And when you're right there, chest to chest, your hands running along his shoulders, your lips brushing against his ear, it's not just physical, it's emotional surrender. You become unforgettable in those moments because you're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him vulnerability, softness, and passion all in one. Another reason men go crazy for this is the mix of dominance and femininity it expresses. By being on top, you're showing confidence, showing that you know what you want and that you're not afraid to take it. But when you do it gently with a romantic pace instead of rushing, it becomes nurturing and incredibly sexy at the same time. It tells him, I want to enjoy this with you, not just get through it. That message hits him on a deeper level than you might realize because it reassures him that he matters, that he's not just part of the act, he's the reason for it. And let's not forget the physical comfort. For older couples, this pace means there's no rush, no strain, no pressure to keep up with something exhausting. It's sustainable, it's relaxing, and it allows both of you to fully enjoy the closeness. For him, it's the perfect mix of stimulation and intimacy. For you, it's empowerment mixed with tenderness. And together, it becomes a moment where time seems to stop. That's why the lover's lap is so powerful. It's not just sex, it's storytelling through touch, eye contact, and rhythm. It's a position that makes him feel like he's not only being loved, but being chosen in the most unforgettable way. Imagine the two of you lying down, facing each other, bodies gently pressed together, legs tangled in a way that feels effortless and natural. This is the tender recline, the face-to-face position that many overlook, but men secretly crave, especially as love matures and deepens. It's not about theatrics, not about showing off stamina or passion with fireworks, but about something far sweeter, far more lasting, closeness. When you're lying like this, there's nothing between you but warmth, skin, and the feeling of being fully present with one another. For him, this isn't just sex, it's intimacy that touches his heart as much as his body. Men go crazy for this because it strips intimacy down to its purest form. He can see every expression on your face, from the way your eyes flutter closed to the way your lips part when you breathe. He can tuck a strand of hair behind your ear, feel the rise and fall of your chest against his, and trace his fingers along your back. These little details, often missed in more physically demanding positions, become magnified here. The beauty of lying face to face is that you don't have to rush, you don't have to perform, you just exist together in a way that feels almost sacred. There's also something incredibly powerful about the eye contact in this position. When you're looking into each other's eyes, every emotion feels amplified. For a man, it's vulnerable, even disarming, because there's no escape from being seen, truly seen by the woman he loves. And that vulnerability is not a weakness, it's what makes the connection unforgettable. It tells him you're not just sharing your body, you're sharing yourself, your attention, your affection, your heart. The tenderness of this position is also what makes it perfect for older couples or anyone who wants to slow down and savor. There's no pressure for intensity, no need for acrobatics, just the luxury of time and closeness. It's comfortable, sustainable, and deeply romantic. Even in moments of stillness, when neither of you is moving much at all, the connection is alive because you're so attuned to each other's presence. The gentle touch of your hand on his cheek, the brush of his thumb across your lips, the way your foreheads rest together, these are the things that stay imprinted in his memory. Men may not always say it out loud, but this kind of intimacy means more to them than they admit. The tender recline reassures him that he is loved, cherished, and wanted for more than just physical passion. It reminds him that what you share is not fleeting, it's enduring. And while other positions might thrill him for a moment, this one melts him for a lifetime because it tells him, I'm here with you completely and I'm not going anywhere. Think about everything we've just explored together. Each position, each touch, each little way of connecting that doesn't just ignite passion but deepens love. That's the real secret here. It's not about chasing wild intensity or trying to impress. It's about creating moments that make the two of you feel safe, seen, and endlessly desired, whether it's the slow rhythm of Missionary with comfort, the playful dominance of the lover's lap, the closeness of spooning, or the tender face-to-face embrace. These aren't just positions, they're love stories written with your bodies. And here's the truth that so many people forget: passion doesn't fade with age, it evolves. It becomes sweeter, more intentional, more about savoring the moment than rushing through it. Men go crazy for these things, not just because of how they feel physically, but because of what they mean. They mean connection, they mean trust, they mean the kind of intimacy that keeps love alive for years, even decades. So the next time you're with your man, don't overthink it. Don't pressure yourself to perform. Instead, give him what he secretly craves: your presence, your eye contact, your touch, your willingness to linger, and let the love between you do the heavy lifting. Because when you show up like that, you don't just make sex sweeter, you make love last longer. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these positions spoke to you the most? Which one do you want to try first, or maybe try again, but with this new perspective? Drop it in the comments below, because you never know who else you might inspire. And if you found value in this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with a friend who deserves to feel passion that only gets better with time. Because love isn't about age, it's about connection. And when you nurture that connection, you'll always keep the fire alive